what's up and welcome. I'm the one and only West Coast King and welcome back to Major League 90 where we're talking Major League Soccer, and the biggest thing coming out of Major League Soccer these days is referee decisions, and that's really all I got to talk about today because the games are not being decided by players or, plays on the field. They're being decided by referees, and it's an absolute catastrophe right now. I have no idea what's going on in the MLS, and it's sad to have to talk about this, but we kind of have to. I mean, I would rather not talk about this. I would rather be talking about great plays being made by players or amazing results pulled out by last-second goals by teams, but that's not what's going on. I mean, you have to talk about this, so we're going to talk about it. And there were two specific games this weekend that were decided by referees, so we're going to talk about those specific situations. So ironically, both of these games took place on Sunday, and as I had nothing to do on Sunday, I watched both of these games. And the first game was Sporting Kansas City playing San Jose, and this game looked like it was going to go Sporting Kansas City's way. I thought they were the much better team in the first half. Bingham, the goalkeeper for San Jose, kept them in the game for most of that first half, didn't let up a goal, went to halftime 0-0 amazingly. I thought Sporting Kansas City definitely should have put a chance away in that first half. They had so many opportunities, and you could say they were to blame for not doing that, and absolutely they were in that instance. They definitely should have got something, but Bingham was just amazing in goal for San Jose. So we go to the second half. It's a little bit more even, but finally a chance comes, and Dom Dwyer comes free, gets through into the box, a slide tackle comes from the side, and he's brought down. Clear as day, penalty, 100%. Now, whether the ref can see that from trailing from behind, from that angle, maybe not, but where's the side judge? I mean, where's the side ref in that situation? He has to see that it was a clear penalty. The defender came through the side, clearly took out Dom Dwyer's feet, should have been a penalty for Sporting Kansas City, and whether or not they convert it or not, you don't know, but still, they have to be given that opportunity right there. And then not 2 minutes later, we go back down to the other side. Wondolowski gets free in the middle, a slide tackle from the side, gets the ball, clean tackle, it falls to Dawkins of San Jose. MacLeod, the keeper for Sporting, comes out. He goes to ground to try to get the ball. Dawkins sells him a dream, skates by him, and MacLeod ends up just taking him down for another clear penalty. This one, the ref calls. Wondolowski steps up. He's automatic from the spot. Sporting Kansas City win the game 1-0. Now, to be fair, you cannot say that because one foul was not given that the other one should not be as well. That's not right. That was a penalty. It deserved to be called. And the other one was a penalty, deserved to be called. It's an unfortunate situation that one was and one wasn't, but you can't say that the one shouldn't be because the other one wasn't as well. So let's get that on. Let's get that on the record right now. I don't believe that that is the case. They deserve that. San Jose deserved that penalty that they got, and they put it away. Fair play to them. They got a point. They got 3 points where maybe they weren't even going to get one. It looked like, but still. The other one has got to be called a penalty. I don't know how the referees, with two of them looking at this play, the side judge and the trailing referee on the play, how they did not see that was a foul. It was clear as day. I don't understand why that's not a foul. We move later on into Sunday afternoon now, and Orlando's playing New York Red Bulls up in Red Bull Arena. Now, Orlando gets off to a great start. They score a goal early on. Kyle Aaron gets the goal. They go into the half leading 1-0. It's a pretty even game, I would say. Bendick actually bailed Orlando out a little bit in goal there. I thought New York probably could have got one before half. Again, that's their fault for not getting one. But still, it was Orlando leading 1-0. We move to the second half. About on the hour mark, a ball is played over the top from Bendick to Laren on a breakaway chance. Laren is cruising right up the middle of the field. He brings the ball down, and as he does so, the defender for New York, I believe his name is Ouimet, just drop toe hold, drops him to the ground. He has a wrestling move. If you've seen wrestling, you know what a drop toe hold is. That's what he did. The clearest foul I've ever seen. How it was not given, I don't understand. If he doesn't make that foul, Laren is through on goal. He's got a clean shot. Maybe he scores, maybe he doesn't. Again, we can't speculate on that. But at the very least, that should have been a red card. Now, I'm going to say, a lot of people saying it should have been a penalty. It shouldn't have. It was outside the box. I believe that was not a penalty, but it was clearly a red card on Ouimet. It was a clear last man from behind, dangerous tackle. All three of those combined should have led to a red card. Nothing was given. The ref says to play on. Now, in both of these instances where a foul should have been called, if it's not a foul, shouldn't that be at least a yellow card for simulation, for diving, for Laren and Dwyer? Because apparently, according to the refs, there was no contact. So at the very least, it should be a yellow card for them. And nothing is given. Absolutely nothing is given. And I don't understand that. And I'm not saying it was a dive on either one. I'm saying those were clear fouls. And Ouimet should have been sent off. New York should have been down to 10 men. Instead, again, 2 minutes later, we go back up the other side. Red Bulls equalize. They go on to score 3 unanswered goals, still with 11 men on the field instead of down a man, down to 10 men. And they go on to win the game 3-2. And ironically, Ouimet gave one back to Orlando with an own goal late in the game, but it was too little too late at that point. And New York goes on to get 3 points when, again, it looked like they shouldn't have gotten one out of that thing. Instead, they go on to win the game. So, I mean, it was just 2 games where the game was completely turned and decided by this one missed call by these referees, and it's completely unbelievable. And what makes this even more weird and just the strangeness of this whole situation is that in the first 42 games this season in the MLS, 16 red cards were given. 16 in 42 matches, one of the highest rates ever in the MLS. In the last 32 matches, only 5 have been given. So after the first 42 games, there was this big outcry of too many red cards, too many red cards. Referees are deciding games by handing out red cards. So then, and then the referee organization came up and defended the referee, saying, no, that's not the case. We're just cracking down on harsh tackles. But then it seems like everything's changed. Now it's like, okay, they were right. There's too many red cards. We should let them play more. Now referees are completely, like, their hands are tied and they can't make these calls. I'm not saying that's the case. I don't know if that's the case, but either way, they're not making these calls. Whether they're being told not to make them or not, they're not making the calls that need to be made. Those were clear penalty calls, or at least clear fouls that should have changed the game in favor of the team that had earned those calls. So I don't know really what's going on or why this has changed, but the whole thing is just very, very odd, and it's very sad to see a league that was growing in popularity is kind of being plagued by this problem of bad referee decisions. I just don't understand it. Why is the MLS having these problems when it doesn't seem like it's a problem in the other leagues? Penalties are committed, or fouls are committed, they're called, penalties are given, and now it's like, that's not happening. Clear fouls are not being given now. What in the hell is happening in this league? And along the same lines as all that, I said for the most part, in the early part of this season, the Sounders, my team, I've watched every game, they've been the most unlucky team in the league. Bad referee decisions, some unlucky goals going against them. I would have to say that title has now gone over to Orlando. They've had some of the shittest referee decisions I've ever seen go against them, and it's cost them numerous points in their last 2 or 3 games. It's been a disaster, and Orlando's played really well. I think they've been one of the more consistent teams in the Eastern Conference when consistency's been a joke in the East. I mean, look at the standings. I tweeted it out. You can't tell me there's a clear favorite in the East right now. I would say, actually, I would give that to Toronto because they've been one of the best teams in the East, I think, throughout this season. And again, still haven't played a home game yet. They're quickly approaching their first home game, but they've had to play every game on the road so far because of construction at their new stadium. So, I mean, I'd say Toronto's the #1 team in the East, but still, I mean, Orlando's they've definitely been the most unlucky team. And now that I've brought up the Sounders, might as well talk about what they were doing in Colorado, or rather what they were not doing. They were shit again. I'm beginning to get really pissed off at this. They're just not good. The Sounders are not good. I picked them to finish 3rd in the West. I would be very surprised if they make the playoffs. There's not something. There are numerous things wrong with that team. But once again, we could talk about another bad referee decision because there was another one going against Seattle. But at the point where that happened, it was pretty much the game was decided anyway. Colorado was up 2-1, and the 3rd goal they scored, the player was clearly offsides. I mean, it was close. I'll give him that. It was close, but you could see on replay the referee was looking right down the line at Doyle, the striker for Colorado, who had just come into the game, clearly offsides. Doesn't give it as an offsides. He just taps the 3rd one home, and Seattle lose 3-1. Brad Evans, the captain for Seattle, was the last man back, was standing behind Doyle, could clearly see that he was farther forward than Evans himself was, argues the call and gets sent off, which ironically is one of those 5 red cards we were talking about earlier. So his wasn't even a foul. He got sent off for arguing a non-call that should have been called. So, I mean, just the whole situation is just a disaster for the MLS. The Sounders are just going down the wrong street. I mean, they're going down the wrong path. I don't know what they're doing. I don't really want to talk about it because I don't even want to watch them anymore. Like, I don't know what their game plan is, but let's not talk about them. Let's not talk about them because I can go on all day about what needs to change with that team. Just know that they're in trouble. Ziggy Schmidt needs to figure that team out. Jordan Morris, though, since moving to striker, has been playing well, but Ziggy Schmidt needs to figure it out. That whole attack is shambles. It's awful. The attack is just not there. It's bad. So we'll leave it at that for Seattle. So that is it for today. I think I've ranted long enough about the refs and a little bit about the Sounders. Man, it's just not been a very good season for MLS, I don't think, thus far. I'm really disappointed with the way things are going. I really have supported this league for a long time, and right now it's one of the weirdest and saddest situations I've seen the MLS be in. They just need to figure it out. What's going on with those referees? I just don't know what's going on with the calls right now in this league, but it's really bringing down the quality of play in the MLS. So, of course, let me know what you think your thoughts are on this whole situation. Leave me your thoughts, feedback, comments below. I'll try to respond to as many as possible, but that is going to do it for this one. If you did enjoy it, make sure to let me know by leaving a like below. Subscribe if you're new, and I will see you when we come back for some more Major League 90. See ya.